Self-managed super fund investing. What's it all about? How does it work? What to do? What not to do? Is it better than an employee super fund? How do you make more money? Where do you start? Is it too risky? Will you lose all your money? What's the deal with self-managed super fund property investing? Hi, thanks for checking in. My name's Trevor Russell, and I speak to people every day about doing the numbers, going through if a self-managed super fund is going to be right for them, and doing projections, setting goals, explaining how it works. And what I see is some really, really impressive results that people can achieve to have a financially free retirement versus the current standard employer super model, which in my eyes is simply not working. And the wonderful thing is, for the right people, well, this is not for everyone, and we'll explain more about that in this short training video, who this is suited for versus who this isn't suited for, and what for the right people can benefit by implementing a self-managed super fund property investment strategy to, most importantly, give you the retirement that you're wanting to have with income that goes up in value and not be spending your money and running out of money, which is the current model to a lot of people, and there's options. And my goal here today is to share with you how this all works in a really simple, fun, easy to understand way to at least know that you've got options. So let's jump into it. Let's go through it. Stay with me, grab a coffee, and let's do some learning around this whole self-managed super fund property investment topic. All right, let's move along here. Now, just to double check you're in the right video, are you someone who is working hard at the moment, you're time poor, but you do have a dream that you would like to really have a lot more money come retirement, so you have the freedom to enjoy your retirement years with those that you love and not be worried about whether you can buy a coffee or not? Is that you? Good. All right. What else? Are you curious, maybe you or your loved one or your partner or someone who, you take their advice very seriously, is unsure or fearful about doing something like this that could risk losing your super money by going and investing it in property? So new, so unfamiliar, right? So yes, very good. All right. Are you wanting to know how to set up a fund? How to invest in the right properties? What are the right properties? And most importantly, so you can achieve your financially free retirement goals. Yes, we'll go through that. Are you willing to invest some time now so you have the money and time later to relax? Because this is what we see with a lot of people. They want to do something, they can see the numbers, they can see the benefit, but they just aren't willing to invest the time. And this is something that really touches me because I actually have a family member who has not made the time, has put everything off, and they are in deep emotional, financial, and health struggle now because they just don't have enough money in retirement. And they could have chosen a very different path. So it is very, very close to my heart for people to at least know that they have options. And I really hope that this short presentation demystifies this topic and makes it really simple and easy to understand so you can benefit from this strategy if it's right for you too. Let's continue. Before we go on, and if you're still with me, most people, I've been told, have attention spans of less than a minute or something these days. But if you're still with me and if you do decide to jump off this video, before you leave, consider this. We all have stories running in our head. And what I see in this whole area of self-managed super fund property investing to build a better, more financially free future is the stories. And the stories are, it's a scam. I feel too afraid. He just wants my money. He's not interested in helping me. People are just out to rip people off. What if I lose all our super? I'm too busy. I'll get to it later. Do you know these stories? Could you have any of these stories? Well, these are the stories that I call the stories that lead to suffering. Because many of these stories, well, yes, it can happen. I'm not going to deny it. And I hope that a lot of this is removed by the time you come to the end of this presentation, that most of this fear just comes from not knowing certain things yet. because the more we know about something, the less fear we have. But we always have more fear in the beginning because it's so new, and that's what the brain does. You think about when you first learned to drive a car. It was scary. You didn't know what to do. You needed training, you needed practice, but over time you got better and better. And now you probably just get in the car and drive and you can't even remember that you ever even drove because you're now skilled at it. And it's the same with this, because in the beginning, especially with money and family and emotion, it's packed with all those fears. So I'm pleased if you're still with me, if you can put those fears aside, because this is the next thing to know about this whole area of property investing in a super fund is this cost. At the end of the day, a house as an investment in a fund or in your personal name, excuse me, I'll grab a water here. It is a house. It has walls, carpet, on land, and it's not a home you live in, it's a business. It's an income, capital growth appreciating business. And the way to succeed with property investing, if you don't already know this, it is the time that you acquire and own that property. And the longer you can hold the right type of property, the more wealthy you will become, if you don't already know this. Just think about your own home value over the years, how it's accumulated. And this is something that I see happen with a lot of people with these stories running, which is I'll get to it later. And this is going to make a lot of sense to you why I'm bringing so much energy and focus onto this before we get into the guts of this training presentation, is to demystify all the fears, but most importantly, the cost. The cost not to me, to you. If this is something that you're seeing that you can benefit from, but you or a loving partner has a story running that will put it off, we'll wait till the kids have got to school and we'll wait till we can sit down and look at it. I've got to fix the front gate, or when I get the promotion at work, you are losing time. It is a house. It's a house that goes up in value. Now look at the numbers. A $600,000 property that goes up on average 10% per year is $60,000. Now, if you divide that by weeks in a year, that is $1,153 a week you are losing by not acquiring the property. How's that? So imagine every week someone goes into your bank account and they withdraw $1,500 every week with $1,500. Just keep withdrawing $1,500. How would you like that? Well, that in a way is what's happening when people wait to invest in property. Look at the numbers. A house on average that is currently $600,000 in 15 years will be worth $1.9 million at 10% average growth per year. Now, this is only year one. Rent goes up. Once that goes to 660, now you're losing $1,800 a week. So the cost of waiting is actually losing you money because you hold the property for a lesser amount of period. So if this is getting through, please, as we go through this, consider, are you happy to give away $1,100 or whatever it is a week away by waiting? Because that's the cost. But the good news is it doesn't have to be that way. And the good news is we're going to go through some info now to demystify and reduce these fears, suffering, creating stories so you can win at this whole game of investing in a smarter way in a self-managed super fund to build you and your family's wealth in property if it's right for you. Let's continue. All right, disclaimer. The information that we're going through in this presentation is for education purposes only. This does not constitute financial advice. It doesn't consider your personal situations. We don't talk about any government-related considerations to benefits. It is purely educational. I don't want to be held liable. You won't hold me liable as the presenter because we are just looking at information as education. You're an adult. You can take this information. You can share this video with your accountant, your planner, and there is nothing in here that can't be shared and considered as ways to, most importantly, get you thinking and get you skilled in this area of self-managed super fund property investing to determine if it's right for you. And please speak to, like I said, your accountant, your advisor. If you don't have one, we have an accounting team, we have an advising team that we can get you to have a chat to, go through the numbers, no pressure either way, and explore if this is right for you. Yes? Good? All right. Now that we've got all the seriousness out of the way, let's have some fun. Journey to reaching your financial freedom goals. I'm just going to make this head of mine a little bigger. Just a very nice thing to say about myself. Okay, here we are. We're wanting to go on a journey, right, to this retirement goal, whatever that is for you. And this is the other thing. People go, oh, too hard, can't do it. All we're doing here is having a look. We're just taking a look and we're exploring the concept, the structures, how it works, and we're just sitting back and going on a little journey. So let's sit back and let's go on this journey. And the first area we're going to cover is, why are more people using self-managed super funds as a way to build wealth for their retirement by using property as an investment to achieve that goal? And then we're going to look at who are setting up self-managed super funds, who are the type of people that qualifies them to be the right fit to be able to benefit from using a self-managed super fund to build their retirement wealth. And let's look at how $180,000 invested in property to buy a property in a self-managed super fund versus investing that money into an employer super fund and looking at what the difference in longer-term returns are. Projected returns, just projected to give you an idea of how it compares. And we're going to go through the 5 simple steps to start and reach your retirement income goals by setting up a super fund and running the whole process over 5 steps. So most importantly, you can achieve your end goal as you go on your journey to build retirement wealth using a self-managed super fund process. And then we're going to have a look at the easy way to figure out the numbers to be able to achieve your financial freedom goals. We are going to go through some numbers, and I'll give you plenty of opportunity to take a deep breath and sit back. I've done my best to make it really simple, but look, I want to say this on the numbers. Let me come here. You don't have to do the numbers. We get it. Numbers are not everyone's jam. We can help you with the numbers. All I want you to understand is the big picture of what the numbers represent to be able to map out a pathway to, most importantly, get you the end goal. But you don't need to be a numbers person, I assure you. We can help you make that happen. Your accountant can make that happen. I will show you some tools that you can get access to that can really help you with the numbers. Okay? All right, let's get back to it. Next thing, confirming if a self-managed super fund property investment structure and journey is right for you. And these are going to be questions you can ask yourself if this is going to be a benefit to you. And then you get gifts. Now, you're probably wanting to know, what are the gifts? Do you want to know what the gifts are? All right, let's have a look. When we get to meet and speak, if we ever do, you will get a copy of this How to Build Your Retirement Wealth and Income with a Self-Managed Super Fund Tongue Twister Property Investing Guide, a little playbook where I've really worked. Oh, and also you'll get access and a copy of the Self-Managed Super Fund Property Investment Income Incubator. How's that, right? Thought I'd come up with a bit of a fun name. But this is where you can punch in the numbers, how much you've got in super, your income, your contribution, what it looks like to buy a property with really good, easy, conservative projections to look at what the growth potential is versus what it would look like in your employee fund, so you can at least see the difference. And I'll share with you at the end how you can get a copy of both of these. So you got gifts coming if this is something that you want to look further into. Yeah? Okay. Why are more people choosing a banquet versus baked beans in retirement? Now, what do I mean by this? Well, the numbers don't lie. And from the last report in the superannuation account balance report, I can get a link to this. On average, 80% of Australians, as of June 2021, Oh, no, sorry. I'll get to that in a minute. 80% of Australians aged 65 to 69 have a total cash value of superannuation of less than $500,000 at the time of retirement. And as of June 2021, men between 60 to 64, 211,000, women 60 to 64, 158,000. Now, you don't have to be a mathematician or rocket scientist to figure out that is not working. That is not going to help people be able to fund a retirement for the next 20, 30 years because we are living longer, people are healthier. And this is why I'm also really passionate about it, because my mother is the person I was talking about, and she did some things that didn't serve her well. And now she is unfortunately paying the price financially. And if you ever watch this, Mum, I love you and I'm here for you. But this is why I'm also very passionate about, having people at least consider this as an option and not stick their head in the sand and just hope and pray it's all going to get better, because it won't get better. You've got to do something about it. You've got to face Mr. Frank Fear, I call him, and do something about it if it's right for you. And I'll share with you in a moment if it is right for you. Okay. Even if you had $500,000 in super come the age of retirement, and you lived for 30 years, that's $16,000 a year. Now, I'm not including anything to do with government pensions or anything like that, but just consider that for a moment. Is that money you can live off by just wanting to stay with the system? And I'll show you that you don't need any $500,000 to start a self-managed super fund to start buying property. You can start with 130,000 and get this moving, right? But if you're still watching this and I've got your attention and this resonates with you, don't leave, don't run, because there is good news. But just recognize that this is a very real possibility if you're not willing to put other things aside and make this a priority so you can benefit if it's relevant to you. Or it's baked beans, and we don't want, unless you love baked beans. Now, here's the good news. You're here now doing something now. And after you learn if investing in property in a self-managed super fund is right for you, when you start with your first property, like anything, you will learn as you go, and then you get to enjoy a financially free retirement, or much better retirement that you dreamt of only a few years back. And why do I say that? Because, God, I was on Facebook the other day and a memory popped up from 12 years ago. I don't know about you if that's ever happened, but it was like 12 years gone. Time flies, guys. And I know I'm beating on the fear drum here, but if you're with me watching this, this is very true and real. And for many people, just by putting things aside, like, I know work's important and the gate's important and the kids are important, but this is not that hard to set up. And once you've done it, and I'll show you in a moment the steps to make it happen, it's freedom. And I know there's a lot of people that are doing this, and maybe you already are doing it. You're watching this to just reinforce your education. If you are, go you, that it can be a game changer. Because as we look here, for someone who took the effort, took the action, they started, and they now get to enjoy their retirement when that time comes with an income. Not an annuity of money to have to spend, but an income that keeps coming in. Yes, there might be a toilet to fix now and then, but if you were going to make $1 million every 10 years, would you be okay fixing a toilet instead of watching Netflix? This is serious, guys, but it's not that hard. Let's keep going. Let's look at the positive, okay? All right. Getting a bit passionate here. All right. Who are the people using self-managed super funds to invest in property to retire financially free? Who are they? Let's have a look. What constitutes this person? And is this you? Employed or self-employed people? 11% more either from the employer, or if you're self-employed, you're contributing to your super from your paycheck that you're giving yourself or by your employer. You're aged between around 35 and 58, but very often there's people that are younger than that. But that's the general age bracket that this strategy is going to be most suitable for that I'm talking about. Maybe there's something somewhere else, but we need some time in the market in property to get the growth and the income growing and the debt paid down. And that's why time is of the essence. That is why. Yeah. And I'll show you why, the numbers specifically. I would recommend you can start a super fund with $30,000. You can start a self-managed super fund with that amount, but personally, my personal suggestion is that you'd want to have at least $130,000 to be able to do property investing and to make it work. And I'll show you why, and I'll show you why ASIC and an accountant will say you should have at least $200,000 to $500,000, and I'll show you why. But I'll also show you why actually waiting longer to have more money in super can actually lose you money, because a lot of them aren't including a property as the strategy. They're actually comparing it to a fund manager strategy, which has very low returns and no income that comes off it. So I'll show you the difference. Yeah. Okay. They want to take advantage of the tax-free income benefits that come with self-managed super fund property investing after retirement age. And they have a goal to have income in their retirement, not spend the money, but an ongoing income. That's the difference. Imagine you got $500,000 in the bank that you're going to spend and dwindle, or you've got a machine that pays you rent every month. And please, I understand respectfully, if you get this, of course, I'm just being dramatic to paint the picture. That rental income keeps coming in. I own a property here near me, and the rent is at a point now where it's just paying it off. It's paying it down. I don't need to put any money into it. Now, that property in the next 10 years, I bought it for $505,000. It's now worth $720,000. And a friend of mine said, don't buy it. The market's in the wrong time. There's the other thing about that. It's not timing, it's time in the market, right? Just buy good property and hold them. Anyway, that property is now worth $720,000. That property worth $1.6 million in the next 10 years, if not probably more. So that's the difference, right? And these people from all walks of life, all different cultures, they're willing to invest some time now into themselves and their financial future, not the boss's time, not the, get to the shopping time, I know life is busy, but they find the time because they know the importance of it. They find the time now so they have lots more time and money later to enjoy retirement. Yeah, sound like you? All right, let's continue. Now, here we go. Stretch, it's numbers time. This might be the time, if you're still with me, where you would want to go watch the cat videos or fast forward to the end. But if the cats are calling you, go for it. But hopefully, this is something like you guys. We want to see how to retire wealthy, Trev. Show us the numbers. So if you're curious and you want to know some numbers, let's take a drink and let's go through some numbers. And it's easy. You can do this. Don't mean to sound condescending, but if the numbers freak you out, don't worry about it. We can help you with the numbers. But let's have some fun with the numbers. All right, let's have a look here. Now, what do we got? We've got a couple that have got 180,000 in a combined super account, and they earn as a combined family income of $190,000, and they're receiving an 11% per annum standard employer super contribution in addition to their income. Now, let's say they go down the path of setting up a self-managed super fund and they buy a property, a $500,000 property, and yes, we know where $500,000 properties exist, and this property has an average of an 8% capital growth and an average of a 7% rental increase growth per annum over 15 years. this property will be worth around 1.586 million with a rental income of $88,951. And this property will be owned, I think, in about 17 years, because when you get a contribution, not only are you getting the rent coming in, but because the employer contributions coming into your super fund, it's actually also coming as income to pay down the debt, right? We can go through those numbers, but that's the other benefit. So this little baby here is rented out, you're taking care of it, and it's going up in value, and you take care of your tenants and they pay their rent, and over time, your little investment's growing into a very nice asset income producing machine. Now, here's the other benefit. You spend the rent, but it keeps going up because people keep renting it and you can spend it, but each year the rent keeps going up. Now, as I said earlier with my story, 15 years goes quick, 20 years goes quick, right? So the sooner you can do this, the better. Now, versus over here, same deal. Now, I've put a 3% return. I know there's pictures of 5%, 10%, but I believe from my experience, and I'm not confirming this, real rate of return versus prospectus rate of return, what's the end goal look like? And I just want to say respectfully to super fund companies, if anyone's ever watching this, this is a tough job. There's a lot of things that they've got to do, a lot of regulations. They've got businesses to run. I get it. They're doing their best to give a return to their investors. And for some people, this works beautifully. It's a good strategy. And for some, they can get better returns, which is great. But for the presentation and the example, this is the numbers I've run with. So even here, you got just under 700,000, same time frame. The challenging thing with this side of things is this money you have to spend unless you've got other money somewhere else. And this is over time going to go down. This is the challenge, right? Now, if you do a self-managed super fund, you can diversify. You can have a property. You can keep some money in a fund. It's your super fund. It's your money. You can invest. That might be something you want to consider if you're new to all this, okay? Now, are you good? Yes, shall we keep going? Let's look at some more numbers. Take a breath. How can self-managed super fund properties offer a growing retirement income? Let's have a look. As I showed you earlier, the property is going up in value, so you are leveraging your money by buying something. If this was a house, we're using $180,000 to buy it, and this thing goes up in value every year. And it derives income off it. So you're getting income off it. That's the benefit of a house. And I know people know this as an investment, also as a self-managed super fund property investment. And this keeps going up. Here's the other benefit. The self-managed super fund is acquiring an asset that goes up in value. Your self-managed super fund money is acquiring an asset that has income coming off it and goes up in value. And the employer contribution that you receive while you're employed and working, and the rent, and if you receive any tax refunds, all go to paying the debt off, so you own the asset outright, and you're not paying a loan anymore, so you make more money as an income. And and because it's your super fund, you control it. Apart from paying your loan and a property manager, you're controlling, and you're going to pay tax. You pay tax in a super fund, but you're paying tax from your employer too, but they just do it for you, right? Now, the thing is, you control it. No one else is controlling the returns that you're getting. And that's the benefit of property investing. It's not perfect. There are challenges. You've got to buy property, but you've got to manage it. But for your effort, you make more money. Does that make sense? The time for money formula investing goes like this. If you invest no time in something, you get very little return because you haven't put the energy into it. You invest more time by knowing it, understanding it, managing it. That's how you make a higher return. So when people say, but I can't be bothered to get a toilet fixed, they make a little return. People go, up here, this house of mine, I go there. If something needs fixing, I fix it. But this property's going up $80,000, $90,000 a year. Do you think I'm going to be okay with fixing a screw and a door now and then? Hell yeah. How do the return on my time is, I can't even put into numbers, and I love it. It's an asset. It's fun, right? Okay. Well done. You're still with me? Let's take a breath. It's got a bit more to go to, but if you're still with me, well done. I hope you're finding this helpful, but let's keep moving on. Now, some more numbers. All right, let's do this. Why waiting to have more in super can lose you money? What the hell are you talking about, Trevor? All right, let's have a look at this. Now, what number gets thrown around is 200,000, 300,000, 500,000. I think it might be on the ASIC website. And I get why they would do that, because they want to make sure that your investment in super is going to be more money made than the costs. They want you to make a profit, right? They're trying to protect you. But the thing is, what they're doing is they're considering it being invested in a standard managed fund versus property, which works very differently. And if they're now changing that, all the better. But for the argument, that might help demystify why a figure of 500 gets thrown around. Now, these are only projections, okay? Accountants watching, they're just projections. They need to be qualified to get it. But hear me out. This is what we've done. $500,000, you make 130K a year. This is your contribution. You've got 500 invested on average after costs, 15 grand a year on your money. Now, you've got an annual auditing fee to audit your fund by your accountant, and then any other fees and charges and incidentals that show up. And you're going to pay tax because it's a self-managed super fund. You're going to pay tax on the income. And now we want to have a profit. So the difference between here and here, it's in profit. So we need a lot of money to have a profit because you've only got X amount of return. And even if that's 5%, 6%, it's still kind of low, right? Especially for 500 grand. If you could see why it would be worth considering at least, right? But here's the other deal. Generally, people that have got more in their super are getting on a little bit in years and they've got less time. So if you're up in the late 40s and clicking in early 50s and you're on the fence thinking, oh, do we, don't we? Think about that $1,153 every week. You're waiting, the clock's ticking, you're losing money, right? Now, oh, by the way, in 15 years, on average, this return, you're going to have about just over $1 million in your self-managed super fund, managed fund investment versus going and buying a property. You got $180,000 in super. You've set up your fund and you go buy property, same figures. You use $161,000, which is the deposit and costs to buy that property. Now, this property in 15 years at an 8% average growth, rental increase will be worth $1.7 million with an $88,000 rental income, with the difference being you're ahead 700 grand and you've got a rental income, no rental income over here from this asset. And this keeps going up in years, right? Now, almost done on the numbers. The cost of waiting at the other end. You still with me? Breathe. If you wait 1 year to go buy a $500,000 property, which will be worth $1.7 million in 15 years, if you wait 1 year, so you've only got the property 14 years, you lose $128,000. If you wait 2 years, you lose. If you wait 3 years, you lose $359,000. So if you've got someone in your ear saying, oh, I don't know, and wait and fear, up to you. Your journey, your story. But seriously, if this is a strategy that is feeling suitable for you and your family and financial future, and you tick those boxes as someone who is suitable for self-managed super fund property investing, I'd have a good chat to that fear story or whoever's in your ear, because the only person that's probably going to end up costing is you. But the good news is you're here and now, and well done. You've got this, right? So high five yourself. We went through some numbers. We might have a few more little numbers to do, but that's about as hard as it gets, right, for today. Smile, and I'm talking really fast now because I honor your time and I want to get through this and make it fun, keep it really simple. Give yourself a pat. Good job, Trevor. Say to yourself, it's new, but I'm getting it. It is new and you are getting it. It's not that hard, right? It's fun, so let's keep going. All right. The 5 steps to setting up your super fund so you can reach your property investment financial freedom goals. Yep. And I'm going to put this here. You can learn anything. If you can learn to drive a car, get a job, have kids, buy a house, you can learn how to do this. It's just a new skill. That's all. And hopefully this short training video on this very, very important topic is helping you. Yes, I hope so. All right, let's move forward. Now, first step is, if this is feeling like you and you've got a goal maybe to have a $210,000 income coming in retirement, the first thing you want to do is consider, let's have a discussion, whether it's with me or your accountant, someone who's going to go through the figures with you, supports the benefits of self-managed super fund investing for the right people, and understands it. And then you would want to work with someone, help you find the right properties. That's another thing that we do for our clients, is we can help them source the right properties that's going to help them achieve their goals. We've got accountants, you've got an account, or your accountant, we've got a broker that can do the loan. We can rent out the property. Our accountant and yours can help with the rollover of the funds. And the tax office is going to come in and check to make sure that you know what you're doing. So all of that happens at stage 1. But I really just think it's about clarifying, is this for me? And just, if you haven't done it yet and you want to, be willing to have a conversation and be willing to put your toe in the water to explore if it's right for you. You'll go to bed at night. You don't need to do anything. No one's going to press you in anything, but you'd at least want to know just to start, right? Now, the next thing is the source the property stage. Like I said, me and my colleagues, we can help you source the right property. My partners that do the properties have been doing it for over 15 years. They've done over 2,000 property transactions. I think they're upwards now of 40% of their transactions are now helping people with self-managed super fund property investing. So we want to make sure that the property is going to deliver on the goal. If you want it 210, we're going to make sure that we're going to find the right property with the right growth, the right rental income. It's managed well, it's taken care of, it's loved. That's the next step. And then you're going to start learning, really simply, like anything, the rental income, your employer contribution, that will come out of your super fund account. Your loan into your super fund account, Actually, I'm just going to go here, over here. So your rental income and your employer contribution goes into your bank account, and out of there comes loan repayments, rates, property manager payments, insurances, just like any other property and income and expense producing type asset, right? And then come auditing time. So for me and my accountant, I've got a self-managed super fund account with Commonwealth Bank, and I send my accountant my statements, and I've also got some money in shares in my super fund, so I send him those statements. He does the audit, he checks it all, does the tax submission with the ATO, and refund if I get it, or if anything might need to be paid. I'm already holding money in my account anyway. He does all that. I don't do any of that. He does it. He just tells me what I need to give him. And I've been doing my own self-managed super fund now for, I think, almost 9 years. Goes without a hitch because I just am responsible for it. I don't touch it. It's all to do with my fund. And it's a no-brainer if you're just disciplined and know it's your super fund money. And that's what the ATO wants to make sure that you're aware of. It's not to go shopping. It's for your retirement. They're protecting you to make sure that you got money for your retirement. What we're wanting to do is figure out what we can do, if we can, to make that money work more effectively so you have more in retirement. More. We want more for you. Okay? All right. Let's move on. Then comes retirement age. You got rental income coming in. Your assets gone up in value. You've worked your plan. Now, this could be a 15, 17, 12, 20, 30-year journey along here. This could end up being 3 properties. How will you feel? How will you feel when your loved one looks at you and says, oh, thank God you ignored me and you just went and did this? No, ignore that. That might cause a fight. But how will you feel when you've got that? I'm helping my fiance at the moment to set up her super fund so she can do this, because I can see we go get her a little property, get her started. She's going to have a couple of million just in that because she's got time, right? And so it's good stuff, right? I know it's a little bit new for some, but this is so possible for people to do this. If you're willing to be a little bit uncomfortable, learn a few, like you learn anything, you can do this. It's possible. And we can help you do it, but you've got to decide here that you want to kick the journey and go on the journey to make it happen. Yes, you can do this. Let's continue. What have we got next? What have we got next here? All right, real quick. If you speak to us and we talk and help you with the numbers, we've created the Self-Managed Super Fund Property Investment Income Incubator where we can punch in your numbers. It'll even calculate growth, tax payments. Again, it's just projections, but it's a starting point that we can then give you to either our accountant and broker if you decide you want to work with us, or to your accountant and broker so they've got a starting point. See, most people, the reason why they never do this is because they don't have a starting point and they don't know how to do the numbers. But it's really easy to know how much you got in your super, what your income is, and we know the other figures and we can punch it in and it calculates it for you. How good's that, right? And we can do it together. All right, so I'll share with you in a bit how we can get that a copy. We can get this tool to you, and if nothing else, go through it with you together. All right, so let's move on. We can do this together. We can build your retirement wealth together. Okay, clearly a bit too much coffee for me. One step at a time. All right, so one step at a time. If you're new to this and you're still with me and the cat videos aren't calling you or whatever it is, all jokes aside, one step at a time. Just the first step and the next. Anyone with a bit of, can do this. Whatever that word is I'm looking for, but you can do this. All right, if you know the word, let me know, please. Okay, what else can we do here to help you? What's helpful to know to become a wealthy and successful self-managed super fund property investor? Well, there's a lot of other good things to know. And in respect of your time, we've almost come to the end of this short training, but important presentation. I've created a guide just to keep this really super simple, just really easy to understand. If you want a copy of this, super simple for anyone to understand how to build your retirement wealth and income, your self-managed super fund property investing playbook. When we meet and have a chat, off the back of that, we'll get you a copy because there are some things in the guide that are worth explaining to you. So when we're meeting, it can help you understand what to read to just keep it simple. But there's information here and you can understand this. It's all there and we'll break it down. We'll make it fun and easy so you can achieve your goal. Yeah? All right, let's move on. Now, while this can benefit many, many people as we come to the end of our short training presentation, while this can benefit many people, and I know I've harped on this a bit, but I just see how it can stop so many people. I just want to wake people up to what's possible. Even though this can benefit many people, what will stop them from ever even starting, and maybe even you from starting, are these stories. It's the fear of the unknown and just wanting to stay uncomfortably comfortable while it's eating them up inside. They don't believe their super money is important. It's this money that gets paid into an account, but they don't really take it very seriously. They don't know they even have options. But if you're watching this, you're now learning, I hope, that you do have options. Accountants, ASIC, ATO, their job is to make sure you're aware of the risk and only consider your current position, i.e. the 500,000 versus the 180,000. You can see now that you've got more knowledge around, hang on a minute, I've got less, but if I buy a property, I can make more. you're already ahead of the game, right? By so many people. But their job is to make sure that your money is being protected. And so what happens is that when a lot of people speak to their accountant and the ATO, oh, you've got to be aware there is, it freaks them out and they don't do anything and then they don't benefit, right? So it's important to be aware, but also know the numbers, speak to your accountant, but also look at the possibility of what's possible. And that's why we really like to do those numbers and projections so you can actually see the end result and what's possible for you in the not too distant future to have as a really nice income and a nice pool of money and a very nice asset to fund your happy, healthy retirement. They've never been taught how to even use or invest in a self-managed super fund, i.e. why you're here. And it's all too hard, easy to just leave to the supposed experts. I can't be bothered. It's too overwhelming. I'm too stressed at work. And they never do anything. Yeah, worry about making the wrong decision, so they never even start. And they believe they have plenty of time. Now, if any of these resonate with you, their stories, many of them are no reason to not do it, but these can be the killers to people's financial freedom, these different reasons. So please, if these stories are anything that you're running and you are done with those stories because what's more important is you and your family's financial freedom in the coming years, just start by having conversations with us or your accountant or anyone that understands self-managed super fund property investing, because as you'll learn after you do this, if you do it, that it's just like anything. And after a while, it'll be like second nature. But there is a little bit to learn and a few fears to get through so you can go to the next stage. Now let's reflect. Let's as we come to the end here, is how helpful has this time been together for you? What have you learned? Hopefully a lot. Hopefully it's opened your mind to what's possible, or it's reinforced the information and knowledge that you already have, or giving you a different perspective, bit of a silly, quirky, amped up on coffee perspective. But what can you now see that's possible with your money, your employment, your contribution? If you were to go and buy a property and do that and take care of it, what's going to be possible for you now? And why are you so capable of doing this? Good question to ask. Why is it that you are actually so very capable of doing it? You've got the knowledge, you've got the contacts, you've got the starting information. If you tick those boxes that I went through earlier, why are you so capable of doing it? And how good's that Trevor fella? I had to put that in there, right? But all jokes aside, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about this. I want people to transform their lives. I want people to have a better life, and I want them to be educated on what options they've got. And all jokes aside, I take this very seriously. And if I get to talk to you or you get to talk to one of my colleagues, we take this very seriously. And we'll have some fun and laughter on the way, but most importantly, we want to make sure that you're heading in the direction that's going to be most beneficial to you. Now, how can you learn more and get a plan going? Good question. Would you like to know? All right. So this is what we can do. What can you do now to determine if building a retirement wealth and income with self-managed super fund property investing is right for you? What can you do? Let's move Mr. Me over here. The first thing is you can high five yourself because you have watched this video, whether you've done it in one hit or over time. You are on your way. If you're really new to this, but you're feeling like, Trevor, I get it now. I can see the benefits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get it. You can be really kind to yourself because you're on your way and you've invested in yourself. Now it's time to ask yourself why this would be worth exploring further. Is this worth exploring further, or you're already in and you want to do it, but ask yourself that question and ask your loved one who's involved in this decision with you. And how could it help you to retire financially free? How could considering investing in property help you and your family to have a beautiful, happier, more financially free retirement? How could it? Now, if you want to email us, me, I'll put my email and contact details below, and reach out. We'll make a time and we'll have a really easy chat about the whole topic, and I will go through with you. I speak to people every day about this, and I'll tell you a bit about myself at the end if you care to stay and listen. But even if we get to chat, I can tell you about what we do and how we do it and all the experts we have around us to help you really, if nothing else, be informed about this very important topic. And that is available to many people who are willing to go down this path. So email me. I'll put the contacts below. Book a self-managed super fund review and plan session, complimentary. We do charge fees to do things, but we're no $15,000 or anything like that. But we'll go through that with you, have you fully informed, have you feeling confident. But this first conversation is a chance to get to know each other and explore if and how we can be of service to you or your own team members, so you can, most importantly, be heading in a really nice direction for your financial future retirement. Discuss the information with your partner and accountant from our meeting, and then you can let us know how we can assist you next after that conversation. So they're all the things that you can do. But maybe just start up here, reach out, ask those questions, and we'll get a chat going. Now, what can we do for you? What we can do is we can do that session with you, and we will get you your gifts, which I'll tell you about in a moment, and listen and learn and find out if and how we can be of assistance. We'll run those numbers together, and I will give you those numbers that you can take, keep the calculator, get the guide, and so you can go do your study and work out if you want to set up the fund, buy the property, do all of that, and discuss it with our accountant or your accountant. We can do everything. Team colleagues can set up the fund. We have great accountants. We've got great property experts, buyer's agent team that has been sourcing property for people for over 15 years. We've got great brokers, and we can even manage the property for you. So we can do all of that. But it's up to you, whatever part you may want. Most people come to us to find the property and do the loans. So if that's leaning towards what you want to help with, have a chat, please, for yourself, not for us. We're fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about costs and fees. First thing you just want to do is just get to know you, right? And most importantly, we want to give you the confidence and support to know that you can do this if it's right for you. And as I said, after our meeting, I'll be sending you a copy of the guide to highlight the areas that I would recommend that you read. And we'll also send you a copy of your income projector from your property investment and do the comparisons so you can discuss that with your accountant and your loved ones and just see if it's heading in the right direction. Sound good? All right. Now, we have gone for a long time, and if you're still with me, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And just coming to the end of this presentation, while I know I've been a bit intense in some areas, a bit silly in some areas, hopefully a bit smart in some areas and insightful in areas, I am learning as time goes by and as time ticks that we do have choices in life. And I know myself that I've made some very silly decisions in my life around investing, and I've made some good decisions. And personally, I wish I had more time. I wish I was younger. I wish I'd done some things differently, but I'm not done yet, and you're not done yet. And all I would have you remember, and I think you'll remember this for the rest of your life off the back of this presentation, is that at the end of it all, what is it that you wanted to have known that you've done to make your life better, and not put off something that you think can be done tomorrow, which actually never gets done? And the reason I say this is because I have some very wealthy friends, very successful friends, very good friends, and I study what they do. And a couple of things that I see them do is they go and make decisions. They do their research. They figure out what they're wanting to invest and do. But once they make their decision, they do it and they act on it and they go for it. Whereas other people that I've watched and seen that don't do so well is they kind of decide, then don't decide, and then they don't do anything. Now, that's one thing to consider is, will you take the decision-making path and go forward? Yes, do your research. Hopefully there's been a lot of value in this for you. But please become an action taker, an imperfect action taker, because a good property invested in for the long term is better than the perfect property that is never invested in. Will it be perfect? No, it won't. Will it be good? Yes. And if you've got any fears about, whether it's me and my team, they just want to sell us a property, they're just wanting to rip us off. And you can believe that if you want, but I assure you, we're not like that. Other people may be, but you are smart enough to know what a good property is. Give you the research, do your own research. It's a house. It is not anything more than what you think it is. It's an investment to secure your and your family's financial future. You are smart enough. You are capable of it. And we want you to have the sun shining on you. Not without the odd challenge here and there. There's going to be some times where there's no tenants. We've got to get tenants in. There's going to be times where there's a crack in the wall that needs to be fixed. But remember, a bit more time and energy invested into something gives you more return. I don't want to put any time in it. I want to go watch Netflix and do nothing. You make no money. That's the cost. We know enough. When I say this, we are not perfect. We do know enough, though, to help you succeed. And whether you go on this path with someone else or us or you or your own, please just do something that can, if this ticks boxes for you, do something to make your life better. You are smart enough, you are capable enough, and choose a path that's going to work for you and your family's financial future, because the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking and the time will be gone before you know it. And the longer you are in an investment, the more money you will make. That is the bottom line difference between people who succeed financially in property investing against those who don't. Thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure presenting this information to you. I wish you well on your journey, and I really hope to speak to you and figure out if and how we can assist you to turn your financial freedom goals in retirement into reality. Take care. I look forward to speaking to you real soon.